Hey VC, I'm in the mood to make videos today, and I just made one, so I'm going to do a Beatles update. Even though I just did one not too long ago, but let me explain something strange that happened to me. I just made a review where I reviewed the Extra Texture album by George Harrison, and you know, I've told people a lot of times that my videos, whether they run 7 or 8 minutes long, they always take 2 hours to upload. So I have this routine where, you know, if I'm home and I'm not doing anything and I got errands to run or something, I'll usually make a video that runs 7 or 8 minutes and I'll start uploading it, and then I'll go out to the record store or grocery shopping or whatever I have to do and do my errands, and when I come back 2 hours later, the video is uploaded. You know, usually it's pretty good, 2 hours on the nose. Now today something weird happened. I was out about 3 hours, and when I got back, the video on my screen still hadn't uploaded yet, which had never happened before. I mean, it never takes 3 hours. And there was a little round thing that says on YouTube, still processing. You know, and I said, that's strange. So I opened up a new window, and I looked over on YouTube to see what was going on, and I saw that my video was uploaded already. Not only had it already been uploaded, but some of you had already commented on it, and that was an hour before. It had already been up at least an hour. So I don't understand why on my end it said it still was uploading, but meanwhile it had been done already an hour ago. Very odd. But any of you people have problems with that out there? Shed any light on it? It's kind of strange. Alright, well, let's get down to the records. The reason I started out this video with that padding was because I only have 4 records to show, but 2 of them are very interesting, and I really wanted to show them on my last video. I wished I had, because for those of you who saw my last one, I bought some ultra rare tracks albums, and then like the next day I found these 2 albums, and I wished I had waited. But anyway, let's get to it. Well, yesterday I was at a flea market. I have a flea market outdoors by my house that they're there every Sunday, and they had some singles there that were really cheap, so I picked this up. I usually don't go crazy buying different Beatles singles, reissues, re-releases from the 80s and 70s, because how many labels can you have? But this one says it's from Canada, so I thought, since it's Canadian, that's interesting. And also, you don't usually get to see All My Loving on a 45. You know, they have it over there, but not here. So there it is, All My Loving, and the B-side is This Boy, which was, you know, unusual to find this, so I thought, I'll add that. You know, you say you're not going to get a lot of labels, and then you wind up getting addicted to collecting, and you can't help yourself. Alright, now to the cream of this little crop. My record store that I go to that has a lot of unusual things. It's not close by. I mean, it's a half an hour drive, not too bad, but it's not my usual so-called honey hole. But I'm going to have to get there more frequently, because they keep restocking these unusual albums lately, and this was one of them. It's called the Beatles Alternate Harris Songs. This is all George Harrison alternate takes and unusual versions of songs we already know, but some of them we've heard elsewhere. Some of them are familiar, some of them not. Back cover looks like this. What's interesting is on the back here, it says, it has a Israeli writing, and it says manufactured and distributed Tel Aviv, Israel. Now, you know, whether that's true or not, I don't know. I mean, the Ultra Rare Tracks albums that I bought on the last video, they say on there they're made in Madrid. So, I mean, whether they are or not, who knows? But either they are, or they just say that. Inside this album, it's not on colored vinyl, this one. It's a standard black record, and the label's just ordinary, just an ordinary white label with nothing on it. The tracks on this album: Don't Bother Me, Take 10, Think For Yourself, a different mix that's excellent, Taxman, Take 11, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, the slow demo version we already know, Piggy's acoustic version, Not Guilty, full version, which we've heard a lot of, Only a Northern Song, Take 3, It's All Too Much, the full version, that's 8 minutes and 16 seconds, Old Brown Shoe, that's Take 2, Something, the version of Something that turns into a jam at the end, which has been on a lot of different releases over the years. For You Blue from the Get Back sessions. And the last thing on here is a version of I Me Mine. It says it was recorded on January 3rd, 1970, which if it's true, it's interesting because that would be, I think, the last official Beatles recording session. The way history goes is that I think 3 of the Beatles, I think Paul, George, and Ringo maybe, if I got it right, went into the studio just to put the finishing touches on I Me Mine. So it's officially the last recording session. They went in early 1970 to do that. And that's supposedly where it's from. So this is interesting, but not as interesting to me as this other album, which is really the one I was mostly excited about. It's this Beatles Live in Melbourne, Australia from 1964. And it's got a subtitle here, Welcome Back Ringo. And the reason it says that is because Ringo joined the band again after he'd been out for a few shows. For like under 2 weeks, he was replaced by Jimmy Nicol. If you don't know the story, Ringo had his tonsils taken out, and they had to keep the tour dates going, so they replaced him with Jimmy Nicol, who, by the way, is there's a book out on him now, just coming out. I think it's just been released, called The Beatle Who Vanished. It's about Jimmy's very short, brief 15 minutes of fame and what he encountered while he was with the band. So there's a little plug for that book. But here's the back cover. Now the sound on this is really very good, and I think the reason the sound is so good is because, you know, I've never seen this, first of all, on any other vinyl albums. I mean, for all the past decades, we always saw, you know, albums of all kinds of live shows, but I don't think the Melbourne show was ever out. There's been a video around of it for many decades. In fact, I think the show was originally recorded off Australian television, or aired on Australian television. There's very good quality, you know, video footage of this around, so I'm sure that's probably where the audio came from. It sounds really good. I mean, this is almost close to being releasable. Just a few tweaks and they can almost release this. There's actually, side 1 starts out with the concert from June 17th, and then side 2 continues with half of the concert from the day before, June 16th. And Welcome Back Ringo, that's because that was the show where Ringo came back and joined the band after being out sick. And it's a cool label. I like that label. The record itself is a standard black record. It's not colored vinyl or anything. And lastly, and real quickly, today I found this, it's another Ed Rudy album, the American Tour, 1965. I knew there had been a 1964 version of the Ed Rudy album out, which I have. I didn't really know right off the top of my head that this one came out also. This is 1965, part 2, or is it part 3? You know. Anyway, I'm running out of time, so I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks for watching, folks. Take care.